What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're all doing well today. Today I'm very excited to bring you another Battle of the Blades. I have an interesting one for you today, though. Today is going to be a battle between the companion carries, at least for me and my size. I think a few of you are going to probably disagree. They're probably going to be potential main carries for you wherever you're coming from, but these are almost always companion carries for me, unless I'm in my basketball shorts taking a walk through the neighborhood with the wife or something like that. Then these will become a primary carry, because you never know when you're going to need your slicey slice. All right, let's go ahead and bring out the competitors. First, representing Wii is going to be the Wii Banter. The Wii Banter comes in two variants, the G10 and now the shredded carbon fiber, and has a ton of aftermarket support out there for things that you can get, going all the way from thumb studs, from Rhino Glow to scales. Who's going to be the other competitor to today's knife? That is going to be none other than the parent or the sister brand, Civivi. We have the Civivi Thug 2. I told you guys this one was going to be an interesting comparison. I bet you're looking at the two of these and saying, wow, those are actually pretty close in size. Maybe not. You probably already thought it. Let's go ahead and jump into the specs really quick. So we're going to start out with the blades. The Thug 2 has a 2.96 inch Nitro V steel blade. You have a compound grind because you have the hollow grind here at the main heart of the blade, and then out on the tip you have a flat grind, giving it plenty of strength out here. It's a very interesting grind choice. I love it. I think it looks really cool, and I think it gives the Thug 2 a lot of attitude. On the Wii Banter, you have a 2.9 inch S35VN blade, flat ground all the way out to the tip, very utility size and shape. Tall flat grind, nice tip, comes down, good for utility cuts, great knife blade shape. Let's go ahead and talk about the handle. We're going to go with the links first. So on the Thug 2, you actually have a 3.79 inch because of the way that it scallops out here at the end handle. In my particular model, I have the micarta, but you can get it in G10, micarta, or with the wood handles. The Banter has a 3.63 inch handle, and you can get those in G10 or carbon fiber. And again, there is a slew of aftermarket scales out there for the Banter. It's been around for a while. Overall length, they look very similar, do they not? Well, the Thug 2 has a 6.48 inch overall length, whereas the Banter has a 6.52 inch overall length. So just a hair more length on the Banter, and I think that has to do with that spear point type blade. What about weight? How are these going to carry? The Thug coming in at 3.7 ounces on paper, and the Banter coming in at 2.6 ounces, but you know me, I like to do a real world weigh-in. Let's see if these guys have been eating or dieting lately. Let's get the scale over here. Mr. Banter, since you're a little bit older, you can go first. 2.7 ounces, so really close to that 2.6 ounce weight that they claim. What about the Thug? The Thug coming at 3.4, so coming in under the 3.7 ounce. So 3.4 ounces, so what is that? Almost an ounce difference. 2.7, 3.3. Did that zero out? I don't think that zeroed out. 2.7, 3.3. So not even a half ounce. Not even a half ounce difference. I don't know where I was getting the ounce from. Go ahead and cut the scale off and move the scale out of the way. Let's keep going. All right. We've got the sizes out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and give you one advantage to the Thug right out the gate. It has a reversible deep carry pocket clip, but while I do like the change that they did to the Thug 2, this pocket clip is different from the typical Civivi pocket clip, which you'll see styled here. You can see it does round down very similarly, but I like the solidness of it. I like the fact that it is contouring down a little bit more aggressively now. Here, let me do it this way. a little bit more aggressively contoured down, and the swoop is elongated a little bit, so they're starting to get it to where it feels a little bit better. It's feeling a little less pokey. The Banter has the superior pocket clip for ergos. It lays completely flat, feels smooth. It has a wider tip out on the end. This is what I was saying Civivi needs to do with theirs, just widen out that tip, because what it does is it takes that pressure and it spreads it out so you don't feel the pokiness as much. So the pocket clip advantage for form and function goes to the Banter. For reversibility, it goes to the Thug 2. So you can probably just wash that out, right? All right, let's go ahead and get into the blade steel choices. I like Nitro V a lot. I think it is superior to N690. I think it's on par and potentially better than 14C28N. Not quite as good as 154CM. Better than AR RPM9 and better than 9CR18 MOV. I think it is one of the top tier premium budget steels that you can get into. Having said that, Civivi has firmly positioned themselves as a premium budget knife. They are no longer, in my mind, with the products that they make today, considered budget. When I think of budget, I think that's why they now have the Syncut division. I think Syncut has moved into their budget representation. Civivi is now their premium budget, and We is their premium brand, which is fine. I love that they have that dedication. I love that some of them share models, because this is the Thug 2. The premium version from We is the original Thug. So they did dumb it down a little bit so that you can get it in a premium budget price. Let's talk about the actual grinds. I will give the steel advantage to the Banter because it comes with S35VN. S35 is a bit of an upgrade from S30V. Fantastic edge retention, good ease of maintenance and sharpening, corrosive resistant. This to me is like a 154CM on steroids. Just a well-rounded steel that is really awesome and still very easy to maintain and very good maintenance on it in case you're not really adept to sharpening, you're just maintaining it and sharpening it. If you get a chip, this is going to be a little bit easier to deal with. Nitro V is like 14C28N. It takes a screaming edge, very easy to sharpen, corrosive resistant, not the best corrosion resistance, but it is still corrosive resistant, and it is very good at holding an edge. Not as good as S30, S30V, or 154CM, but it is on par with 14C28N with its edge retention. Better than N690, better than AUS-10A. Trying to think of the other ones. ARPM9 is more budget, and so is 9CR18 is more budget. This is definitely going to perform better. The finishes, I like the black wash a little bit better than the satin finish here. I like that it's not a fingerprint magnet, but I think a stone wash would have looked really good on there, but it still looks good. I'm okay with that. So the steel advantage going to the Banter. The grind, well, that depends on what you like. If you I don't know what just happened there. If you like a drop point, I would say that you definitely are going to really like the spear point here, because you're able to do draw cuts, utility cuts, and you still have a nice big flat space here for any type of push cuts that you might want to do with it. Both of these knives are relatively the same as far as thickness. The compound grind is going to throw you off, but pay attention back here to the studs, and you're going to see it does start with the same geometry, same thickness all the way through. The compound grind is going to be more versatile. You're going to have strength out on the tip. If you're trying to do some puncture tasks, this is going to be strong. This is going to be strong too, but with the hollow grind and the swedge, this is going to feel a little bit more slicey going through the materials. I don't have any paper out here. Hold on. All right, so I grabbed my pad that I have recorded stuff that I'm doing for recordings out here, so I have that. As you can see here, Nitro V has a very good edge. If the paper would stop faulting, maybe I need to strop this up. No, it's doing fine. No, I got a little bit more of a tear going on. I might need to strop this. I actually was using this earlier this week to actually break down a box. Not a big box, but I broke down a little bit of a box. I wanted to see how it performs, so it probably needs a stropping. Wow. This does not, however, and that's impressive because I actually did use that to go through some cardboard here recently. So again, that goes to S35 and the edge retention. Granted, this was like, so the battery box that came in the weed eater, I was using this earlier in the week on that, so I'll go over and give it a little bit of a strop because it does have a really nice edge to it. So that compound grind, when stropped up, is going to feel really slicey, and so does the weed Banter. I'm going to give that a tie. Really, it's going to come down to preference. What are you using the knife for? That Tonto, though, I will say that Tonto is nice because you do not have to go up at all to get your draw cuts. You can get your draw cuts in there just fine and not have to lift up on the blade, whereas with the Banter, you're going to have to come up not too high to get in there and get your draw cuts. But you can see both of them have really sharp tips. I'm really surprised that that Thug 2. All right, I gave it a real quick strop. I just wanted to see how it was going to do. Yeah, even with just a quick strop, which goes to show how easy it is to maintain, Nitro V really made a difference. Just a couple, I did like 2 on each side just to see really quick how it was going to do. So really easy to maintain, and it holds an edge well. It really does. I did break down that box into little pieces trying to disintegrate it because I wanted to test, but I did realize I forgot to strop before this test. So good. Tie. Again, I'm giving it a tie because I think depending on what it is that you want to do, I think this has its advantages and disadvantages, and same can be said for that drop point. Let's go ahead and talk about ergos. The Banter has a very neutral approach. You have a big scallop section, and you can pick where your hand lands, or if you have big hands, you can use and take advantage of the full knife. So it does fit the full hand, even though it is a smaller 5th pocket companion carry knife. The Thug is a little bit more scalloped and intentional with where the hands go. So when you're holding it in the scallop and you have your fingers resting on the rest, it is a 3-finger knife, but it does both have the option for a lanyard, but this one has the barrel in the back. And the nice thing about that is the barrel, the lanyard can sit in the palm of the hand, so you actually feel like you have something for the pinky to rest on. But if you want to, you can choke up, and when I say you can choke up, you share this scalloped section here and have both fingers laying in there, and then I can get 3.5 fingers on there, and I can hold it very similar to how I'm holding the Banter. So you can do it, it's just not as comfortable as the Banter. They're both nice and thick and chunky, which I like a lot. You have only a liner on the lock side. It is just the scale on this side, so it's the thickness of the scales, where if you have a dual liner here on the micarta, so it's a little bit thicker, and I will demonstrate that now. It's a little bit thicker on the Thug 2 as a result. So a little bit thinner with the Banter, a little bit thicker and a little bit more chunkiness with the Thug 2. All right, let's talk about how they ride in pocket. So you're going to see here the Thug 2 is going to be just a little bit taller, just a little bit taller with the way that it's shaped and how it's styled. We can, from the maximum height, you can do it. Hold on, I'm trying to line these up. You can see just, again, a little bit taller. Both are very, very, very similar. The reason I'm opening this like this is I just did some maintenance on this knife, and I want to make sure that it remains centered without coming loose and having too much blade play. So I'm trying to prevent opening it too much so that Loctite can seat. So I do apologize. The action on these are both very snappy, good detents, good access to the liner locks. Both of them have some scalloping going on and a little bit of contour cut out here so that you can get down on top of that lock bar on the Wii, but you have aggressive toothing on the liner itself, so really good access to that. Both of them are good, neither one better than the other. Captive pivot, good for maintenance, minimal hardware, not a whole lot of hardware here for maintenance, so really good. The thumb studs, a little bit smaller on the Banter, but styled similarly, so they're very comfortable to operate. I like them both very much. Now, let's talk about the last thing here, because I mentioned earlier in great detail that Civivi has officially been positioned as the premium budget brand, Syncut being the budget brand for Wii now. How close are these priced? You are getting more premium steel, so keep that in mind. The Thug 2 starts at $74. For that, you're getting the G10 variant. The Banter starts at $109, S35 yen and G10. This carbon fiber version, $132, but if you get the wood Thug with the Damascus, you're paying $88. So really close for the premium version of the Thug 2. It's really close, within $20 or right around $20 to get the G10 version of the Banter. And that Damascus is a 9CR Damascus steel, so it's not as good as the Nitro V and certainly not as good as the S35 yen. So that's something to take into consideration. If I had to choose which one I'm keeping, I would be going with this actual version of the Banter. Does that mean I want to get rid of my Thug 2? Absolutely not. I think this is a cool ass knife. I really like it as a companion carry. I carry it with other knives quite frequently and I've been enjoying it. And this one's going to be around for the long haul, so stay tuned. Meaning, make sure you're subscribed with your notifications turned on for that long-term review when it comes out, because you're not going to want to miss that. If you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor, leave a like. Consider subscribing again if you're not already subscribed. If you are, thank you for your support. Make sure you guys have that notification bell turned on. Make sure it hasn't been cut off. I've heard there's been some wonky stuff that happens sometimes with YouTube. Links are down in the descriptions for these knives, for tools, for other knives that I recommend. Those links will take you to a store that helps me with a little bit of a kickback, not much, but it does help so that I can put anything that I get towards other purchases to fund for the channel. And again, some of that stuff I end up giving away to you guys anyway. So ultimately, potentially, it funds the giveaways. There are some discount codes down below. Those do not take you to any affiliates. They're just discount codes that I reached out to get for you all because I wanted to try to do something in return in addition to the giveaways. I think you probably would buy things more frequently than I give away, so that discount will help save you a little bit of money. And it's my way of showing my appreciation to you. Thanks for all the support again. I hope all of you have a fantastic week. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, peace.